Welcome. Today we are undertaking a real rescue mission. We're going to walk through a super clear, step-by-step surgical guide to repairing the battery in a 13-inch mid-2012 MacBook Pro. Look, this explainer isn't just about swapping out a dead part. It's about empowering yourself, picking up some actual hardware skills, and saving a truly classic piece of tech from the recycling bin. So grab your tools, clear off some desk space, and let's get ready to operate. To really appreciate what we're doing today, we have to look at the landscape of modern hardware. You know how it is. If you crack open a modern MacBook today, you're going to find a battery that is heavily glued directly into the aluminum chassis. It's notoriously difficult, honestly sometimes near impossible to fix at home without special solvents. But the mid-2012 MacBook Pro? Oh, that is a totally different beast. This model is practically legendary among tech enthusiasts because it actually uses a screw-mounted battery. It's incredibly repair-friendly, making it one of the absolute last Apple laptops truly designed with user accessibility in mind. We have a really unique opportunity with this machine, so let's take full advantage of it.
Okay, let's dive into our 6-phase flight plan to get your MacBook running like new and totally eliminate any DIY anxiety. We're covering 1. Diagnosing a dying battery. 2. Preparing for the repair. 3. Opening the MacBook safely. 4. Removing and replacing the battery. 5. Post-repair calibration and troubleshooting. And finally, 6. The value of repair.
Right, phase 1, diagnosing a dying battery. So before you even pick up a screwdriver, you need to make sure your patient actually needs surgery, right? You might be noticing some physical symptoms, like sudden shutdowns out of nowhere, wild battery percentage jumps, or maybe a trackpad that feels really stiff and hard to click. Well, to confirm what's going on, we look under the hood. In macOS, just click the Apple logo, go to About This Mac, hit System Report, and check the Power section. Now, Apple designed these specific batteries to handle about 1,000 charge cycles. Check the condition listed there. If it says normal, you are in the clear. But if you're seeing replace soon, replace now, or that dreaded service battery warning, yeah, it is officially time for a swap.
Actually, before we move to the next phase, I need to issue a very serious safety warning. If you've noticed your laptop's bottom case bulging or lifting, or your trackpad is super stiff, your battery might be swollen. If you open it up and the battery is swollen or bulging, stop immediately. Do not, under any circumstances, try to puncture it or pry it out forcefully. A swollen lithium-ion battery is incredibly volatile. It can literally catch fire if that outer membrane is pierced. If you run into this, carefully place the machine, or the extracted battery if it's already out, in a fire-safe container until it can be properly recycled. Seriously, safety absolutely always comes first.
Moving right along to phase 2, preparing for the repair. Okay, the secret to a totally stress-free operation is having everything laid out right in front of you beforehand. Let's run through our surgical tray. First, you need the exact A1322 replacement battery model, specifically for the 13-inch unibody mid-2012. For tools, grab a Phillips #00 screwdriver, a specialized Trilene Y1 screwdriver, a plastic spudger, and please, get a small container, like an ice cube tray or a magnetic mat to organize your screws. Because honestly, dropping one of those tiny pieces of metal into the carpet, it's a total nightmare you definitely want to avoid.
All right, phase 3, opening the MacBook safely.
Now we actually begin the teardown. This is where patience really pays off. First things first, save your work, shut the computer down completely, and unplug that MagSafe charger so absolutely zero power is flowing. Next, you'll remove the 10 screws securing the bottom cover. Finally, you'll use your plastic spudger to disconnect the battery. We can speed through the software shutdown process, sure, but I want you to slow down drastically once we start dealing with these internal components. Precision is the name of the game here.
Now pay close attention to the precise layout of those screws on the bottom cover. They are not all the same size. The 3 screws located near the black hinge at the top right are exactly 13.5 millimeters long. The other 7, they're short, 3 millimeter screws. Keeping these separated in your container is absolutely critical. If you accidentally drive a long screw into a short hole during reassembly, you will severely damage the logic board underneath.
Once that cover is off, your absolute first priority is completely cutting power to the system. Locate the battery connector on the logic board. Using your handy plastic spudger, carefully pry the connector straight upward to unsnap it. Never, and I mean never, pull directly on the exposed wires because you could rip them right out of the plastic housing. Just lift the connector gently and securely.
Okay, phase 4, removing and replacing the battery.
Power is connected, the patient is prepped. Here's the exact process to extract the dying power source and seat the brand new one. Grab that specialized Tri-Wing Y1 screwdriver and remove the 2 screws securing the battery housing. Next, just use the black plastic pull tab attached to the battery to lift it straight out. If it resists, stop right there and check for missed screws. Never force it. Once it's out, lower the new battery in, align the screw holes, screw it down, and finally, gently press the battery connector back onto the logic board until you feel a satisfying click.
And when it comes time to close the machine back up, take a second to perfectly align that bottom aluminum cover over the chassis. Remember your screw organization? Yep, those 3 long screws go back near the hinge, and the 7 short ones go everywhere else. Seat them all gently first, and then tighten them down. A quick pro tip here, avoid over-tightening. Just turn them until you feel solid resistance to avoid stripping those super delicate screw threads.
Awesome! Phase 5. Post-repair calibration and troubleshooting.
The physical surgery is officially over and your machine is closed back up. Great job. But, just like recovering from a real procedure, your Mac needs a little post-op care. We need to calibrate the new battery to establish accurate percentage reporting in macOS. It's simple. Connect your MagSafe charger and let the Mac hit 100%. Leave it plugged in for 2 more hours. Then unplug it and just use it normally until it drains down to about 10 or 15%. Finally, recharge it uninterrupted back up to 100%. This basically teaches the operating system the true upper and lower limits of your brand new battery.
Now, what if you turn it on and the battery stubbornly refuses to charge? Or maybe the internal fans are spinning at maximum speed right away? Don't panic, you probably just need to reset the System Management Controller, or SMC. This is essentially the ultimate magic trick for Mac power issues. Just shut the Mac down, connect the MagSafe charger, and on the built-in keyboard simultaneously hold Shift, Control, Option, and the power button for exactly 10 seconds. Release them all at once, then press power to turn the machine on. This clears out any lingering, confused power settings and gets everything running smoothly again.
And finally, Phase 6. The value of repair.
So you've just spent maybe 20 to 30 minutes inside a laptop. Why does that matter? You might honestly be thinking, look, this computer is well over a decade old. Is it actually worth investing time and money into repairing a mid-2012 MacBook Pro? And hey, it's a very fair question, especially in a world totally full of ads for the newest, thinnest, shiniest devices on the market.
Well, the answer is a resounding yes. The Mid-2012 is literally a modular powerhouse. Because it isn't glued together, its massive upgrade potential is nearly unmatched in the entire Apple lineup. Once you're comfortable opening it up for a battery, you can easily swap the slow-spinning hard drive for a lightning-fast solid-state drive. You can max out the memory to 16 gigabytes of RAM. You can even rip out the old optical CD drive and put a second hard drive right in its place, or easily swap out a cracked trackpad. Replacing the battery is really just the gateway to realizing you have a machine that can comfortably handle everyday tasks for years and years to come.
And that leads us perfectly into our final takeaway. The source text puts it brilliantly. Replacing the battery yourself can save money, reduce electronic waste, and restore portability to a MacBook that may otherwise still perform very well. Every single year, millions of perfectly capable devices are thrown into landfills simply because a single, totally replaceable component failed. By taking 20 minutes to follow these steps, you've taken true ownership of your hardware. So I'll leave you with this thought. Now that you know exactly how straightforward it can be, will you be the one to save your tech from the landfill, and what are you going to fix next?